So let's start with Boeing, because you think that's a stock that is poised for a turnaround in the new year. What should investors be watching for?
Thanks a lot. I appreciate the invitation, Leslie, and Happy New Year to you. It's nice to see somebody else at work this morning. It's like a ghost town here on campus all week. You can see tumbleweed blowing down the halls. But yeah, is what's interesting when you look at some of these stocks that we have is Boeing. Well, and if we get a chance to talk about, of course, Nike and Starbucks as well. These are people we had on a watch list last year because we had brand new CEOs that stepped into each one of them. Now they're CEOs that knew the turf they were getting into, but they were just like a month or so on the job, and now we see they're under a year and a half. They're just over a year in each one of them. And Boeing, it's promising. I'm not saying this is a runaway star. These are ones that we again have on a watch list. We're not saying these were the superstars, but Kelly Ortberg knows the space. He is a great engineer in the space. He was a Texas Instruments guy who spent most of his time at Rockwell Collins, which of course had a lot of history coming into Boeing, and he. They had made the MCAS system that was very promising, but challenging control system. But their production, they got great momentum coming in. There are 537 aircraft, which is up quite a bit from around 348, I think, or so last year, which is fantastic. The quality improvements are finally there. We're seeing a 30% drop in defects, which is amazing. The regulatory reset is huge, that they're building internationally and domestically trust back with regulators so that they actually have embedded in the line the inspectors again. And we're seeing I guess completing the Spirit Aero reintegration back in. It was a huge mistake. Airbus had never separated out their airframe, and Boeing had mistakenly done that under a guy named Harry Stonecipher quite a while ago. So these are some big improvements we see coming there. They've got a back order of 1,000 planes, and I don't know, $620 billion of revenue coming in from that. So it's looking encouraging. 11 years of orders you can see that they have ready to go.
Yeah, Ortberg certainly had his work cut out for him, but delivering a 27% gain over the last year or so. Let's turn to Starbucks. That one down about 8% in 2025. Of course, also has a new CEO in Brian Niccol, who arrived at the job with a lot of fanfare. How do you think he's doing, and how long should investors give him to really turn the business around?
The last person you'd want to have been is the superstar Brian Niccol, of course, who he had an incredible reputation coming into the job of what he'd done previously at Chipotle and things. And the only reason you wouldn't want to be him is because the analyst expectations were off the charts. They were truly messianic, and that was. Given that he's so new on the job and what it's taken in prior turnarounds of Starbucks, which takes around 2 years, he's just a little over a year into the job, and he's addressed the right thing. Now, it's an easy job, but he actually knows what he's doing. They have a significant bleed in China. He stabilized that bleed. I think that Luckin Coffee, horrifyingly for some of us, has actually surpassed Starbucks in terms of market share in China. I think they could have 15% of China market right now, and Luckin has passed that in 22% or so. That's a challenge. Luckin competes on a technology-based, low-cost foundation, and that's hard. But he knows what he's doing there, and that's great that he stabilized the bleed. They've got a great partnership there with a local private equity firm. So that's about, I think, around a 60% stake. So that's helping them, I think, in buy-in and sensitivity to local market, which has been an issue for going back for 15 years or so, is how to deal with, especially on a provincial level, challenges that they've had, Forbidden City issues and elsewhere. The Green Apron Service is a huge success. It's something that had soaring goals and aspirations there, and Brian Niccol's delivering on that, which is to shorten the time to 4 minutes from when you order the coffee to when you get it, and perhaps maybe 12 minutes if you're in line, but 4 minutes just in the stores, to bring around a much more friendly or familiar relationship with the barista, with writing on the names on the cups and all the rest. And that's a giant improvement. And they've had some challenges having to do with the price of coffee, and it's until last month, or really, November, when President Trump lifted the tariffs, or dropped the tariffs, I should say, with imports from Brazil, which is a third of our coffee, especially a third of Starbucks coffee was coming from Brazil. Those 40% tariffs were just awful. So that's been a problem. And again, now that that's not there anymore, we're actually seeing a much improvement on coffee prices.